Hey guys, and in this episode we're going to add the ability to view your reports inside your scanner. So it's pretty simple. We're going to keep it nice, short, to the point, and we're going to start by editing the graphic. So we need a new page. We need to scroll up to where it says name and change this to reports. Now we've done that, we need to come over here and we need a new list view. So we're going to grab ourselves a new list view like this. We're going to shape it nicely. We're going to add a column. And this is just going to be called reports. We want to make this about 171, I believe I worked it out to be. So we need to come to the bottom and we need to change it from RS icon to RS report. I always use grid lines. You don't have to, but I always do. Right, so now we're going to shrink this slightly so that it fits properly. I'm going to move it onto the screen properly. Now we want a memo. And this is just a simple method of showing the document. Like that. And we're going to rename our memo to report display memo. Like that. And we're going to rename our reports to report, or our list view to report file syst lv. Now I've named it this because it's going to be our report file system list view. So this is just going to show our files. So it's pretty simple. What we're now going to do is now going to click on the tab sheet 4, which is our reports. I'm going to click on events. I'm going to come down here to on show. I'm going to use the on show function as our method of refreshing the page. So we'll put refresh here in a comment, and we're just going to leave it like that for a minute. We're going to move into our reports file. We're going to need to add a few things. So we're going to add the fact that we want to use the main form, as we want to edit something that's on the main form. We're then going to come up here and we're going to add classes and com controller or com controllers, like that. So we're going to hit save. We're going to come down here. We're going to start ourselves a new procedure, and this new procedure is going to be list report files. It's only going to want one variable. The variable it's going to want is custom list view. So we're going to use list view as a parameter. Now I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but it works. So we're going to do it like that. Now here we're going to duplicate some code that we used in the list folders. And we're going to duplicate it because pretty much we're doing the exact same thing. And hopefully I don't burst through this too quickly, and hopefully you guys can keep up. But obviously, as I stated in my last video, at the end of my last video, I'm trying to speed the videos up slightly so that speed my coding up slightly so that people don't get bored. So we're going to do custom list view, and we're just going to clear it. This is important because you don't want to list a load of files again and again and again and again. So you got to remember that this function is going to be called several times, or could be called several times whilst the program's open. So we're just going to get the current directory, and we want to get the folder named reports once again. And now we need to do our lfind. So our lfind is equal to find first, and we need to do our find first again. So we're going to do report folder plus for now we're just going to leave this to star.txt, so it will list all the text files. But if you were using a custom extension, you could use the custom extension name. I am thinking about doing another tutorial series where we develop something a lot more advanced. So we would be splitting the scanner up into a client, a scan service, and so on. So we'd be developing drivers, but currently I'm unaware on exactly how well that would go down with people. This series so far isn't getting particularly a lot of views. Not that it really matters. I'm quite enjoying just doing it. You know, it's quite entertaining for me personally. I get to show off, so of course I like it. We're just going to set this to find next. So you eagle-eyed people out there will notice that this is the exact same as our function. Why is that not liking it? Because I've not spelled it right. You eagle-eyed people out there will notice that this is the exact same as the start of our search function for folders. Now, that is exactly correct. All we're doing in this function is we're going to this directory, which is our reports directory, and we want to list everything in the reports directory that ends in .txt, which is going to be our reports, hopefully. Like I said, if you're using a custom extension, so you could use .report, and then it would only ever load reports. It wouldn't load any text files that you happen to stick in the same folder. Right, so we're going to declare this up here, like that. We're then going to save, and we're going to go back to our main form. Come all the way to the top, and in our declares, we need to declare reports. Now, we declared main form here to stop us getting a loop. And we named reports here because we want to use it. So we're going to come down to our refresh function. And as I still have it in the paste box, I'm just going to do that. And here we want to put our report, report, file, system, list view as the list view we want to use. And that pretty much does this bit for a second. You could do, no, that is pretty much it, yeah. So I'm just going to tack it out so that looks nice. And we're going to give that a test straight away. I've left the reports in there from last week, so we should be able to just load everything, but nothing is picked up. Why? That'd be why. Spelling mistakes. I am dyslexic, so this will happen quite often, but it keeps you guys on your toes. And there you go, we have our reports in there. So it's loaded the ones I have in there from last week. So next we're going to move on to loading them. So we need to click on the graphics for our thing, for our simple scanner, and we need to click here and we need to click events. Now I'm going to close this little box down here so we can clearly see our events. And we want to come down to on click, and we want to use the on click event to load our file. Now, why the on-click event? Because as you click the file name, we want it to load. So this is going to be really simple. We're going to reports, display, memo. So that gives us our memo. We're going to clear it. We're going to clear it instantly. Then we're going to go for reports, display, memo, dot, lines, dot, load from file. Now here's where it becomes slightly more tricky. So we want the current directory we're in. So we want to get current dir. Then we want to add the folder name we were in. So reports. And then what we want to do is we want to add the name we want. So we're going to do reports, file, system, list view, dot, selected. And then we're going to because we're getting a list view item, we need to know the caption. There you go. And now, if we go back, this should load our reports. Right. So we click on it, and we get our reports. And don't do that. Right, so we're going to fix that quickly. We're going to put here, if file exists, I'm just going to copy that into there. I'm going to do a begin here, and we're going to do an end there. We're going to do an end here. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to shift this over so it's in the right place, get rid of this space, and get rid of that space. Get rid of that space. And that should get rid of that problem now. It should say that when you click on one that doesn't exist, it should just not do it. Nope, we're still getting a violation. If report file system lv dot, we're still debugging, dot selected is equal to nil, then exit. I think that'll work. Yeah, it works. So that way, if there's nothing there, it won't load. It just doesn't do the function. Simple. Right, so we're checking if there is anything in it, and then we're checking if the file exists before we attempt to load it. It might have been deleted between you clicking it and it loading. So now we're going to move on, and we're going to do something that I should have done last week. And it's to do with the reports, and some people pointed it out. And if I quickly open my reports back up, you'll notice that I didn't have this issue. Or I did have this issue, I don't now have this issue. Which, as you can see, it's printed the whole name. Someone pointed out to me, I believe it was yesterday, that after this, after the space, it stops printing. So we're going to fix that issue quickly for you guys. I've already fixed it, not in this client, but I've already fixed it in the one I was messing around with earlier. So it's a really simple fix. We come down, we come onto our reports, we come down, and all we're going to do is we're going to put a string in called temp string. And this is just literally going to be a temp string to hold the entire string that comes out of here. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this out. I'm going to put it here. We do this. And then, to ensure that we get all of it in one string, we're going to add quotes. And this is going to stop it, preferably not. This is going to stop it splitting at the spaces. Or it won't yet, but we will set it so it's to stop it splitting at certain spaces. Now we're going to come over to our manager. I'm going to go up here, and where we do a create, we're going to do files detected list dot strict delimiter equals true. That will stop it using space as its delimiter, which is what it is doing. It's using space as its delimiter, and it's giving you more strings than you need. So now, if we go and scan, we should now get the full file name in our new scan report. So we're going to click this, and we're going to scan the same folder that I scanned before and got the error. Oh, I didn't get an error, it just didn't print. So we're going to leave it scanning for a second. I'm going to have a sip of my beer. And whilst it's doing this, I can explain what we're going to do in the next episode. In the next episode, we will be doing pretty much a few small pieces that needed to be done. So we will be adding a reset the scanner function. If you click scan twice now, after you've already done a scan, it just continues adding to the numbers that exist, and it continues without emptying the scan results. So we will be changing that to get rid of the scan results, get rid of the previous data from the previous scan, to give you a more professionalized application. Something where if a user was to pick it up and they wanted to do several things one after the other, they would be able to do them without having to reset the app or without having to close it and reopen it. And like I said in the last episode, we're moving towards a more professional, more developed piece of software. As for after that, I think I'm going to do a video on threat analysis, how to group threats, because I've had a lot of emails about it. I've had a lot of people asking how they can make this into something that's more community respected, so more professional, really. And I like the challenge, so we'll be moving towards more of that. Now, as you can see by the time in my corner, it's 9:15 and the file is still in use. So we're going to close our application because that's the quickest way to get it to... that's another bug fix we need to do. Has just reminded me. See, it cut it off, which is a bit annoying. So what we're going to do is we can come down here, and one of the lines is missing. It's a very useful line. It's a very, very, very needed line. It's simply close file. Now I can't see how I missed this the last time, but clearly I did. So we're just going to add it. And if I'm correct, this time when I scan through, it should just give me a correct file scan. So we're going to dump for again. Now I am thinking of continuing this project and adding some more settings in. So file extensions you want to exclude. Maybe folders you want to exclude. I'm not sure yet. I'm kind of just going with it because my other project over at Tech Labs, I can't really use the code and I can't really use development secrets. So I'm trying to keep these separated, and I'm trying my hardest not to follow similar development methods that we used, purely for security purposes, and it's company secrets, a lot of it. So we are developing this completely independent of it, and hence I'm not struggling, but I'm very cautiously stepping forward. Anyone who works for a company who does something similar to what they do as a hobby will understand where I'm coming from. It's a very thin line to tread, and I don't want to upset the people I work with. I don't really want to upset them. It could be very bad for me, so we'll try and keep it as separated as possible. But yes, I'm trying to move towards a more integral scan engine that people could use. So as we can see now, our whole file extension has turned up, which is what we wanted. This is the one before. As you can see, it cuts off at YouTube for some reason. And this one, we get the whole file extension, so we get all of our files. So I'm hoping you guys have enjoyed this, and I'm really hoping that you have some suggestions. I would love some user feedback right now. It is becoming a bit a bit of a long process, and I would like to know what people want to see. I'd like to know, whether you guys are enjoying it. So if you're enjoying it, please give me a thumbs up, and I hope you enjoy the next video as well. So until then, I'll see you later.